Hello class, and welcome to the second lesson on cell structure and organization. So you remember the last time we were talking about these eukaryotic cells that have a nucleus and how both animal cells and plant cells are eukaryotes? Well, we're going to look a bit more into detail into their structure today. So by the end of this lesson, you should be able to tell me what are the different parts of a cell, what are the structures and functions of these different parts or different organelles, and describe how these organelles work together to carry out chemical processes that are important for life. Now, if you're looking at a textbook, you look at pages 17 to 25 would be the same as what we're going through here. So what does a cell contain? Well, it has the three main organelles that you find in a cell: the nucleus, the cytoplasm, and the cell surface membrane. And together, these three things, we call them the protoplasm. They are the basics of a cell. The basic three things that you find in all animal cells and plant cells in general. We've been using this word organelle. What exactly does it mean? Well, an organelle is any structure inside a cell that performs some kind of function. So you could think of it as your cell's mini organs, right? Like we have organs, and cells also have organs that perform different functions to help them carry out, to help them live and to survive. So this is an animal cell, and if you look at it under the microscope, a light microscope, remember light microscope gives you not so much magnification. You will find some main organelles. You'll find the three things in the protoplasm. So first, the cell membrane. I'll just label it here, the cell membrane. Careful, I'll just use some short form, okay? Cytoplasm, and the very densely stained nucleus. So you can write this out in your notes as well, but better than I'm writing it out with my tablet, of course. The same three things you will find in plant cells. Okay, so again, you should find your cell membrane. Your cell membrane is here, cell membrane. Okay, you should find your cytoplasm and your nucleus, right, your nucleus. Okay, but on top of that, on top of these three protoplasm, you will find three other organelles which you can actually see with a light microscope. First, you will see the chloroplast. So some of these green blobs here, these are actually the chloroplast, I think. So like this. Chloroplast, there's another one here. Okay, your chloroplast. You will find your cell wall, which are these thick structures, cell wall, surrounding the cell. And you also find the central vacuole, which is right in the middle of the cell. You can't really see it here in this picture, but it would be in the middle of the cell. So comparing plant and animal cells under a light microscope. Okay, take note under a light microscope. Okay, you will see that plant cells have cell walls, plant cells have chloroplasts, and this cannot be found in animal cells. Plant cells also have that large central vacuole, which you cannot find in animal cells. Animal cells, you'll see later, they have vacuoles too, but they're small and temporary. So just take note of the differences that you can see under a light microscope. Alright, so talked about the light microscope, and everything should be quite familiar so far. But zoom in a bit more with an electron microscope. Remember, that allows you to see things that are much smaller, and you'll find other organelles in cells. And these are the new ones that I want you to pay attention to learn. Now let's start with let's look at this diagram here, and let's start by labeling the ones that we already know about. So of course, the big center organelle, which takes out a lot of space, we know that is the nucleus. Here we also know our cell membrane over here, and you also know the cytoplasm. These three you already know. Very good. Now next to the nucleus, you sometimes see these highly folded membranes with little dots or little things on them. I'm going to go a bit more into detail later, but it looks very rough, right? So this is actually called the rough endoplasmic reticulum. And the little things are actually ribosomes that are attached to the rough endoplasmic reticulum. On the other side of the nucleus, also very near to it, these membranes, it looks a bit like the rough endoplasmic reticulum, but what's the difference? No dotty things, right? No ribosomes. So we call this the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Very smooth. Now over here you'll see something like very flattened membrane stacks of membrane a bit further from the nucleus usually. We call this the Golgi apparatus. Apparently the guy who discovered it was called Golgi, so he thought it'd be good to put his name on it. It's a bit strange. Here, this sausage-shaped organelle, we call it the mitochondria. Some of you might know about it already. And going down, these are the vacuoles which I was talking about, the little membrane vacuoles, which are small and temporary in animal cells. What else do we have? Some ribosomes are not attached to the rough endoplasmic reticulum. They're kind of free and they're just floating around in the cytoplasm. These are free ribosomes. And over here, we have one more, which we find in animal cells. We call this the centrioles, which are only found in animal cells. So maybe you might want to pause the video a bit at this point and just familiarize yourself and just fill out your diagram as well. Cool. So why don't you try it by yourself? We'll pause and try labeling this 3D diagram, which is in your notes. Okay, so this now was 2D, now it's 3D. Let's try labeling it with what you've already learned. So pause it. Once you're done, restart the video. Now you should have already tried, and I hope you got some of these answers, so just have a look. Yeah, like I said, the thing that's folded membranes very near to the nucleus with dotty ribosomes on them, that's the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So you also have the smooth one, which do not have the ribosomes on them. The Golgi, the stacks of membrane that are a bit further. Mitochondria, sausage-shaped. The membrane, nucleus, and cytoplasm, which you should already know about. The free ribosomes that are floating around in the cytoplasm. And the centrioles, okay, this one looks really, really quite different, but that's the centrioles, what they look like in 3D. And the vacuoles. Now, plant cells. Maybe you should try this out as well before you continue with the video. Okay, just pause it. Okay, largely the organelles are about the same, so give it a shot. If we try to label the plant cells, what you should have found, the rough endoplasmic again is the one that's very near to the nucleus with lots of dotty ribosomes on them. The smooth one, these membrane things that are a bit more like tubes but don't have ribosomes on them. Again, the Golgi are the stacks that are a bit further from the nucleus. The mitochondria you find as well, the sausage-shaped things. Membrane, again, nucleus, and cytoplasm. I don't see the free ribosomes here, but you should find some inside. There are some differences in plant cells, of course. You have the central vacuole. They don't have they have no centrioles, unlike animal cells. They have special chloroplast for photosynthesis. And they have a cell wall surrounding the entire cell, giving it its shape. So once again, just absorb some of that, take it in, and label your diagram. Lots of new things. New words. Cool. So if we compare plant and animal cells under the electron microscope, so now I'm talking about the electron microscope, you'll see that they share a lot of their organelles. They have a lot in common, such as the mitochondria, the endoplasmic reticulum, the Golgi apparatus. But one main difference you find is that animal cells do not have centrioles. Animal cells have centrioles, while plant cells do not have centrioles. So that's just one big difference on a very smaller level. Alright, so I want you to pause and finish labeling, and in the next video we're going to be talking about the individual organelles. We're going to be talking about their structures and their functions. And this is an important theme. Okay, in biology we always talk about structure and function. So we're going to be looking at what does each organelle look like and what does it do. Look forward to that in the next video.